It is now 4:30, so we will call this meeting to order. The Moorhead Public Service Commission welcomes and encourages customer input on issues listed on the agenda or of general water electric utility interest. Time and commission permitting, speakers are limited to 3-minute presentations. Customers wishing to address the commission regarding a specific agenda item will be afforded the opportunity during the discussion of that item. Customers who wish to speak on matters not listed on the agenda will be given the opportunity to do so under the heading Customers to be Heard Recognitions. Each person requesting the opportunity to speak is asked to fill out a request to speak form located on the table in the back of the room and present it to the administrative assistant in attendance at the meeting. Any follow-up or feedback will be done by email on anything that cannot be resolved this evening. Reminder, commissioners, please make sure that your microphone is turned on and the red light displays when you are speaking. All right, thank you very much. First item up is to approve the agenda.
Lindos moves approval.
Lindos approval. Is there a second? All right, thank you, Amy. Roll call vote. Baker.
Aye.
Lammers. Lindos.
Yes.
And Lyseth. Yes. Motion, the agenda has been approved. Next up is the approval of the consent agenda.
Lindos moves approval.
Lindos approval. Is there a second for the consent?
I'll second it.
Second, Lammers. Thank you very much. Roll call vote. Baker.
Aye.
Lammers.
Here.
Lindos.
Yes.
Lyseth. Yes. Thank you very much. We will move on to customers to be heard and recognitions.
Yes, I've got one recognition. Mark Moylanen, our admin and finance manager, just at the beginning of the month had his 15-year milestone anniversary with us. So congratulations to Mark on that. And we appreciate all his hard work here at MPS. So
Congratulations, Mark. We'll move on to old business. The city council report. Commissioner Borgen is absent today, so public service commissioners, anything to report on since the last meeting?
Something.
All right.
So I was able to represent the Moorhead Public Service Commission and attended the Minnesota Municipal Utilities Association meeting. It was a fire hose of information. I did a pre-workshop on succession planning, which was very timely, and brought back a packet. I only had one copy, so Travis has the copy right now. Commissioner Lammers and Borgen will receive copies, hopefully. There were some very useful worksheets just to go through to think about. And so it was actually a really timely opportunity to go through that. Other than that, there was lots of different sessions, knowledge-based sessions on BESS, or backup energy storage systems, i.e. batteries. There was a little workshop or a roundtable. We're talking about nuclear energy. Not that we're planning a nuclear power plant here. That's not the point. But, basically the state of Minnesota and how you're going to try to achieve zero net emissions in the future, and how you do that. It's a whole of energy approach. So there was a lot of good information, and we'll be obviously talking more about secession worksheets and stuff in the future.
Thank you, Commissioner Lindos. All right, we will move on to the general manager's report. Travis.
yeah, so again, it's one of the 4 times a year we get to talk about our quarterly updates for strategic planning. All that information is in the general manager's report. I will let you peruse that and read through it if you want. I'm focused more on the dashboard side of it. Again, this is second quarter, so April, May, and June. Overall, was a pretty good quarter from the perspective of outages on the electric side. Energy sales were normal or right around budget. We did have some higher demand charges in May and June. just because of the temperatures we had here as well. So good information within that. Let's see, we've got, again, outages were about 12 of them in the quarter. Energy services dashboard, all of our rebates are included in the packet as well too. You will notice that there is one issue on the community solar garden energy production. We don't have anything for that. That's because of the new AMI meter, so we'll be updating that once we have all that information available to us as well too. Again, from a collection standpoint, we're kind of hit our normals. Start out at 20% on that are past due, or 10% on past due, and get it down to about 1% disconnections. You also see at the end of June what we were looking at for numbers from an AMI perspective. As you know, we've completed most of that. We're just waiting on a couple meters and a couple refusals that we're still working through, and then we've added those charges to the bills as well. From a financial perspective on the electric side, net position, we are about $830,000 behind budget, so we're a little less. Again, got to think about April and May and the temperatures we had, and then hopefully see that come around here, since July and August have been pretty warm. So we'll see where we're going from that perspective as well. On the water side, we're about $560,000 to the good on that one from a net position. So overall, that's good. We've also got all of our IT dashboards in there. You'll see some of those have been changed and updated, just trying to give you a little different look and something that's more valuable to you as a commission as well, along with tickets submitted internally, along with collection. We did collect about 3,300 points on water facilities. Again, that it's construction season, so that's a pretty good number there as well too. We did have 2 incidences in the second quarter as well. Those both occurred in April. If I'm remembering right, one of them had had just time lost due to having to go get whatever the accident was looked at, and then any follow-up from that as well too. So overall, we had a pretty good quarter from that perspective. We also have our social media statistics in there. And then from a water perspective, started off using a lot of Red River water, and then by June, we're kind of using a little bit of both there as well too. The hardness was down a little bit on the Red River, but again, we're still blending. There's still a lot of, still very hard to treat. If I remember right, Mark said we're treating about an extra 1 million gallons a day. So we're using about 20,000 pounds of soda ash and 20,000 pounds of lime on a daily basis from that perspective as well too. So, and that concludes my general manager's report, unless there's any questions.
I do have a question. You included the U.S. Drought Monitor map, and it shows our areas, fortunately, only in moderate drought. But what kind of impact are we seeing, from the aquifer fullness and the river flows for your daily water intake needed to support the city?
Yeah, good question. I'll start, and then I'll let Mark add into that. Actually, if you look at it today, I think we're actually in a severe drought, if not maybe hitting extreme. We did get an email last week from one of the local media stations asking some questions and provided some information back on that. But at that time, I think we were like 80 to 100 cubic feet per second on the red before we would see any threshold for making changes. And then on top of that, the Department of Natural Resources also kind of dictates when we go from voluntary to more mandatory requirements. So with that, Mark, I'll let you take over.
Yeah, sounds good. Mark Pritchard, Water Plant Manager. General Manager Schmidt pretty much nailed it right on the head. We're sitting comparatively in a pretty good spot right now. River flows are, as of today, about 250 cubic feet per second. Our mandatory restrictions get more in play at about 150. So we have a little bit of room left on the top, so we're doing okay there. We have been blending a lot of groundwater due to the very exceptionally hard water that we saw hit us at the beginning of August due to upstream dam discharges that we've talked about before. We went from about 350 parts of total hardness up to about 900, so factor of 3. So as we ramped up with summer flows, we actually had to match our maximum chemical feeds and then still have to blend some more of that groundwater. So the the operators are getting a little creative. We're able to claw a little bit of that back and use more surface water. But time will show how quickly we can make that transition back. So we went from 75-25 split to a 50-50. Now we're at about a 65-35. So we're starting to get that back.
Go ahead.
So a follow-up on that is, it sounds like you're limited to how much essentially chemicals you can put in. Otherwise, we could be drawing more river water.
Yes. So the true limiting factor of the facility when we see super high hardness water coming from the red, it's actually our chemical feed batching system. We're only able to pump so much of each chemical. Once we max that out, the unfortunate reality is that that hardness then becomes a throughput to the distribution system. It's an aesthetic issue. It doesn't have anything to do with public health, but we have been reports of receiving more phone calls from customers saying, hey, I'm seeing more hard water stains on my fixtures, my faucets, my dishes, that kind of thing. What is that? And, you know, that is an aesthetic issue that comes when we go from that moderately soft finish water target to this more moderately hard finish water target. It just is a part of it at that point. We can only remove so much.
So do we think we're going to have this issue in the future? I mean, it's dam discharge. It's you know, it's basically, are we, I mean, I'm not asking you to be a fortune teller, but, you know, are we looking like that's going to be more common and that we're going to have to deal with this more in the future? Or is this just a one-off kind of situation that has to do with low water, you know, drought situation?
Good question. So for the past 10 years or so, we have seen an increasing trend in overall peaks in hardness in the red. It has to do primarily when we have dry spells and then upstream dam releases become a larger proportionate flow of the total flow in the Red River. So the more that time progresses, we are seeing more of this, yes. We have begun having some very in-depth discussions with our regulators to see how they are going to help us mitigate that. So that's going to be part of what we roll into the master plan and the feasibility study. As the town continues to grow, as our demands continue to grow, what does that blended portfolio look like? We've been in pretty deep discussions for about 2.5 years now with the DNR for that.
Yeah, I was just going to add one thing at the end of my report there too. Again, I was at the MMUA summer conference as well with Steve, and again, a lot of different opportunities to learn. They had some leadership training as well. They had a really good beginning speaker that really talked about leadership. Again, they had a round table or a small session leadership, and then they closed with leadership as well too. So it's kind of the focus of this year's group, along with many other things. I actually partook in one of the round tables and leading that, and was dealing with billing, collections, and accounts as well too. So again, we actually shared out our collections policy with some of the other utilities that had some questions after the fact. So overall, it was a good event as well.
Next up is to item 8D is accept the report on regional electric rates.
Yeah, I'll start off. This is an annual item we always bring back to the commission as we start our budgeting process, and kind of give a perspective on what regional rates look like for the area. And with that, I'm going to let Adam Benhart take over. Go ahead.
Good evening, Adam Benhart, Construction Manager. The report you see in the commission packet is our 2026 regional electric rates, and it shows how MPS's current rates compare to those of other electric utilities in our area. Rate structures vary widely among these utilities, making a straight-up comparison difficult. This report simplifies this by using a monthly average usage for each of the 4 rate classes. This calculation converts all the standard rates, interim rates, riders, and surcharges into an average monthly dollar amount for each customer class to assess our regional competitiveness. This analysis shows that NPS remains a regional leader, offering the lowest rates across all 4 classes, and this continues to show the value of public power within our community. Any questions on rates?
So this rate is great. First, looks, you know, anyone that's reading this that's a resident should go, hey, this is good. It's comprehensive and making sure people understand it's not just the, dollar per kilowatt hour. But this is very regional, right? And we're kind of graded in terms of Moody's on a statewide. So how do we compare it to other state municipal utilities and stuff?
Yeah, I'll start off with that. So with this one, we're actually just really focusing on the Fargo-Moorhead area. So you got Cass County, XL North Dakota, XL Minnesota, and Red River Valley Co-op. Those are the 5 that you see in the report. When we do our rate studies as well too, that looks at a broader picture. More utilities are part of that as well too. And then if I'm correct, and Mark Moreland might have to answer this, is when we get into the rating perspective, they look at it from a statewide or a national perspective, and they have other information they're pulling from as well too. So outside of being in the regional area, we'd have to dig into it. I know when MRES does our rate study, we are on the lower end of that, of those rates, but I couldn't tell you from a statewide perspective. Again, a lot of this and the way why we're at where we're at is really a lot of it comes around Western Area Power Administration allocation that we have. There's a lot of other entities within the state that do not have that capability, or opportunity in front of them.
But statewide, very doable. It'll just be same process.
Yeah, we could maybe even pull MMUA to see if they've got some of their rate information as well too. I know we do also, I think, get stuff from APPA as well. So.
Thank you, Adam. Is there a motion to accept the report? Lammers, thank you.
Lindas will second.
Lindas second, thank you. Roll call vote. Paul Baker.
Aye.
Lammers. Lindas.
Yes.
Lysette, yes. Report accepted. We will move on to item 11, which is to award the bids for the 2027 electrical materials.
Yeah, I'll kick this off and then I'll let Adam speak to anything if he has anything extra. Again, typically we start this process in September, October timeframe. We've moved it up because of supply chain issues. There are very long lead times on wire right now, and if we started in October, we might not have any wire for construction season. We've had some pretty good bids here from a cost perspective on the wire side. Transformers are a little higher than we had estimated, but after that, I'm going to let Adam talk.
So like Travis said, this is our annual order for our wire and transformers due to continued supply chain issues that are causing lead times of a year or more for some of these manufacturers. We had to bump this up a couple of months to ensure these materials will arrive for the 2027 construction season. Metal pricing and tariffs continue to cause significant market volatility and supply chain issues that we're still dealing with. That said, overall pricing came in under our estimates. These materials will allow us to complete planned projects in the 2027 construction season. MPS staff recommends awarding all bid items except bid item number 3. That project that material would be for is being delayed, and therefore we do not need that material at this time. Any questions on electric material?
Just so you guys are all aware, we'll probably be bringing this back early in 2027 to do orders for 28 as well too.
I see that the estimated cost is a little bit higher than your low bidder result. Is that supply chain is still really slow, but are they catching up? Is that why some of the prices are moderating a little bit?
It changes from month to month. Now,
Okay.
transformers have come back down in lead times, but prices are still going up, and now wire is still going up, and lead times are going up, and data centers are hurting everybody. They're gobbling up everything out there, and we just have to adjust our time frame of ordering to make sure we can get stuff on time.
The wire manufacturers are seeing a lot of not the ability to not take downtime to do maintenance just because they have so many orders out there. They're trying just to keep up. So it's so then you're seeing some of the plants shutting off because they got repairs they got to make, and it's not scheduled repairs. It's fixing something so they can get back up. So there is some other stuff going on there as well too. But yeah, I agree with that. I mean, a lot of it is related to, data center needs.
They're willing to pay whatever it takes.
Thank you very much, Adam. Is there a motion to approve the bids for the 2027 electrical materials?
Lindos moves approval.
Lindas, approve. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Lammers, second. Roll call. Baker.
Aye.
Lammers.
Aye.
Lindas.
Yes.
Lyseth. Aye. Moving on to item number 12, which is to award the bid for MPS's 115 kV transmission line upgrade project from the Fargo substation to the Cheyenne diversion.
Yeah, so and some of you commissioners weren't here when we started this several years ago, but last year we actually requested to actually go through a design process and take the project over ourselves because we were struggling with ASN contractors. Initially, this project was part of the FM diversion project, and they were going to do the betterment. And after some back and forth with them, we decided to take the project over just due to cost concerns, and actually came out in our favor. So I'll let Taylor speak to the rest of it. Go ahead, Taylor.
Yeah, I'm pretty much just gonna kind of restate the things that Travis just said, but as a result of the FM diversion project, we had our 115 line impacted, which required a relocation in order to span the channel and keep our structures out of the floodplain area. Knowing that we had a small segment of line that was still a smaller conductor, which leads to lower capacity on the line, we were trying to take advantage of the opportunity and pay for the betterment costs, and then just have a contractor go through and upgrade essentially structures 1 through 11 all at once. There was some misinterpretations or disagreements on the MOU, which led to some adjustments, and ultimately led to ASN kind of creating a separate project and splitting the FM diversion segment from our betterment portions of it. And due to some cost issues, we decided to part ways with ASM doing that work and do it in-house. And like Travis also stated, the bid I'm asking you to award today was for $161,675. Had the project actually went through with the FM diversion project, it would have cost us about $420,000 for the same work. Plus, there would have been about $100,000 worth of markup charges with the contractor managing it. So, as a result, this project is coming in well under budget, and I think it would be great if it was awarded this evening. This is a part of our greater capacity improvement project, and it will essentially extend the already upgraded portion of the line from WAPA's West Fargo sub all the way significantly into Fargo, leaving a smaller stretch to upgrade in the future, which is already on SPP's radar. With that, do the commissioners have any questions?
So first, this is great. I don't think anyone is going to say, hey, coming in 4 times under budget is bad. I think this is great. But this is not only a kind of alignment or reconfiguration that was needed because of the diversion, basically to make this work, but it's an upgrade, as you said. And that means more capacity, and everyone is using more energy and more electricity. What kind of upgrade now capacity are we having? I mean, just a rough estimate of how much more capacity we have with this.
Unfortunately, it doesn't have an objective number of the increased capacity because the electrical circuit's only as strong as its weakest link,
Right.
and there's an additional segment of line that needs to be upgraded prior to uprating it. I don't have those numbers off the top of my head, but ultimately, we're going to have to complete that additional stretch to the Brookdale substation. And under certain scenarios, that's going to be the kind of bottleneck leading into town. So that segment of line is more important than some other segments that are in the middle of Moorhead.
So essentially, we just need to increase the conductance on parts of it, but this is great. We're positioning ourselves for increased capacity.
Yes.
Yes.
If you just want to look at it from a wire perspective, you could say it's probably going to double the amperage or capacity of that line, roughly. It's not specific, but close enough. So
I think it's roughly a 50% increase in diameter, and
yeah.
when you increase diameter, the volume goes up much more rapidly than the diameter measurement.
Excellent. We can do a physics problem on that.
Yep. That'd be right up your alley.
One thing or two things to add to that. So this is just the betterment project. ASN did complete the diversion crossing as part of that project, so that piece is done. So this is just the betterment portion of it. Along with that, we did purchase the materials for this in advance. So this is just the labor portion. There was about 125,000. I can't remember what the number was.
Roughly in materials.
In materials that we've already purchased. So
And about
probably
20.
saving half the cost of what it should have been. So
And another 20,000 in design.
yep.
So from the Brookdale station, how far into Fargo or West Fargo is left on this connection then? That would need to be upgraded in the future?
Basically Lampert's down by 32nd Avenue.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Flying
All
J,
Yeah.
right in that area.
Yep. All right. Thank you. Any other questions for Taylor?
Lindas will move approval or awarding, or let's do this.
Motion by Lindas,
Get that.
second by Lammers. Roll call vote. Baker,
Aye.
Lammers,
Aye.
Lindas.
Yes.
Lyseth, yes. Thank you, Taylor. We are moving on to number 14, which is approve a sponsorship request from the Community Action Partnership Lakes and Prairie for the longest table in Moorhead and Dilworth.
Yeah, so I'll take this one again. We had this request come in from CAP LP or Community Action Partnership Lakes and Prairie for the longest table. We did do this sponsorship last year as well too, and I think the sponsorship was for $3,500 then. Talking with Sue and looking at the budget, I think we're in a good spot where we could do the same amount for this year. I think last year, if I'm correct, we actually left it kind of open to the commission. I think they locked in on the $3,500. So again, good event and a good opportunity to raise additional funds in Moorhead as well too, and should say Dilworth as well. So with that, again, request the commission approve the sponsorship.
Is there a motion to approve?
Lindas will move approval.
Lindas motion.
I agree. It's a great community event.
I'll second it.
Lammers, thank you. Roll call vote. Baker,
Aye.
Lammers,
Aye.
Lindas.
Yes.
Lyseth, aye. Thank you. And we are moving on to number 15, which is to review the preliminary 2027 budget timetable and set a date for water and electric rate hearings.
Looks like Mark's coming up.
Mark is coming.
Maybe Allison will talk. I don't know. We'll see. Again, typical process as we start our budget season. Again, staff has met in advance of this to kind of start looking at numbers and projects for next year, and then again in the outlying years as well too for forecasting. With that, I'm going to let Mark take over.
All right. Thank you, Travis. Mark Moylanen, Admin and Finance Manager. As Travis alluded to, this is an annual process where MPS sets its annual rate hearing and budget approval process. Usually at this time in the past, the budget working group has also been set at this time, but due to some issues we had earlier this year, the budget work group has already been set. It was set in March. So at this time, Commissioners Baker, Lyseth, and Ness will be serving as the budget working group. As Travis alluded to, starting in mid-August, we met with all of the senior managers to talk about and review the 2026 capital projects, the status of those to see, as they compared to last year, or the budget that was set last year, to see if there are any adjustments that need to be made. And then we started looking at the next 10 years with an extreme focus on the first 2 or 3 because they will have the biggest impact on upcoming rates. As part of the meetings and some of the things that we've preliminarily received from MRES, WAPA, and our power providers, chemical estimates and materials, which we've awarded a couple of items recently and we'll have some more coming up soon, we feel we're pretty confident and we're well within range, and we're looking to do rate increases similar to what we projected last year, between 0 and 4% for electric, and 4 and 8% for water. And we expect to easily come within there, probably closer to the midpoint for both, as we fine-tune everything over the next few months. Over the next few months, we're setting up the rate hearing date, which will be set for October 20, I believe. And after that, there'll be at least a minimum of 30 days for comments and public review, followed by formal approval of the budget and the rates for 2027 at the December 22nd meeting. Prior to the October 20th meeting, we will be meeting with the budget working group to go over, so they get a chance to see our budget, ask questions, and we'll fine-tune it prior to that based on the information we've received for some of the bid items that are out right now. As we do chemicals, get our water materials firmed up, we expect to have some tweaks and modifications to what we currently have, which were primarily estimates. So that's really the process right now. We're looking for you to approve the timeline. And again, this is an annual item that we go through every year around this time. At this point, I'll welcome any questions.
Are there any questions for Mark? Right. Is there approval, motion to approve the preliminary timetable?
I'll make a motion to approve the preliminary timetable.
Lammers? Second?
Lindos will second.
Might want to amend that to also include the rate hearing date as well.
Yeah.
Yep. The timetable is set for October 20th for the working group. Is that, no,
No, the rate hearing is October.
the rate hearing is October 20th, and the working group will meet before then.
That is correct, at a date
Okay.
to be determined.
All right. So,
I'll make a motion to approve the working group and the rate
all right.
date.
I accept that
Thank you.
amendment.
And second, Lindas. All right, roll call vote. Baker,
Aye.
Lammers,
Aye.
Lindas.
Yes.
Lyseth, yes. Okay, and we do not need an executive session today. Our upcoming meetings, they're on your calendar, but September 8th if needed. Otherwise, on September 22nd, we will be meeting next month. A couple of opportunities for our commissioners. The Minnesota AWWA Annual Conference is September 15th to the 18th in Duluth. The MRES Municipal Power Learning Academy, which is excellent, September 16th to the 17th. Public Power Week is October 4th to the 10th. I'm looking forward to that, Travis.
We're not going to do
Oh,
much
all
this
right.
year. Maybe, I think next year we're looking at maybe doing a facilities tour for that.
Okay, that'd be cool. I do not want to do this, Mark Pritchard, but imagine a day without water, October 15th, 2026. So, but I think that's a good reminder for all citizens who are relying on public utilities that water's on every single day, and it's a lot of hard work that makes that happen. So thanks to everybody. With that, we will adjourn at 5:04. Thank you.